Good morning, yogis. Beginning in a comfortable seat, ideally Sukhasana, easy pose. But whatever feels comfortable for you. Oops. Let's see who else is coming in to join us. Right. So if you just joined, make sure you're on mute, and we just began, starting in a comfortable seat, Sukhasana. Notice which leg is in front, and halfway through we'll switch. Connecting sits bones to earth, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Stacking our torso and allowing for the free flow of breath and energy. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and connect with your breath. Noticing the state of your breath this morning and seeing if you can allow it to deepen, to slow and deepen. We often breathe shallowly, maybe fast, quickly, often in the upper lungs, not fully using our whole ventilation system, upper, middle, and belly. So bring that into your awareness for a moment. Allowing your breath to be full and deep, smooth and easy, not forced. Almost like you're sipping water in through your nose, just filling up all the way down to your belly and then exhaling completely. Just feel that. So keep breathing in this way. So today's class, it will be a Kripalu yoga class, Kripalu vinyasa yoga class. So we will be moving with breath, linking our movements with the breath and flowing with the pulsation of life, that energy of life, also known as spanda, that flow of life. So let's come forward. You can keep your eyes closed here. We're just taking some circles with our torso. So come forward, maybe taking a little extension with your spine, and then over to the right as you round the spine, drawing navel in, lean back, and to the left and forward. So just make little circles like this. Allowing your breath to maybe deepen, become fuller as you start to mobilize the spine. And feel, some of that movement. And then when you're ready, go in the other direction. Feeling a little extension, some lateral movement, some flexion, maybe even a little rotation as you begin to move. One more breath like that. And then bring that movement to stillness and pause and notice. Place your hands behind you. Uncross your legs, plant your feet on the earth, and open up your legs wider than mat width apart. And let your knees drop to one side and then the other. So windshield wiping the legs to get some movement in our hips, even a little bit more rotation in the torso. And just go back and forth like that. Now you can stay here, letting each knee drop to the sole or the heel of the opposite foot. Or you can start to add some movement with your arms. So maybe the next time your legs go to the left, you're going to sweep that right arm across the body, overhead in line with your ear, and spin your heart open. And then you'll float that arm back down and go to the other side. So starting to add your arms like this. And you could do that keeping your hips down. Or if you like, this next time you could start to lift your hips up. And then maybe shine your heart to the sky, going into a little bit of a back bend. So do what feels comfortable for you here. Inhaling as we rise up, exhale as we float down and switch. So one more time each side. And then after you are complete, come back to seated and allow the opposite, the one leg, the knees to draw apart, let's say that, Baddha Konasana. So our knees spread apart, heels and ball of foot together. You can hold on to the shins or the ankles and find the position or the space between your heels and your groin that feels comfortable for you. Grounding sits bones, lengthening, sitting upright here. We'll add a little flexion and extension from this position. So as you press your heels together, lengthen your torso and melt your heart towards your feet. A little bit of a forward fold. And then rise up and get long. Now this next time as you go down with into your hinging forward, maybe lifting your heart a little bit, taking a little extension. And then as you come back, you can round the spine and take some flexion, chin to chest, holding onto maybe your legs to prevent you from falling backward. And then inhale, come forward into a little extension, lifting the heart, maybe lifting your gaze, pressing your feet together a little more. And then draw navel to spine, rounding chin to chest. A couple more times like that. Inhale and exhale. Last one, come forward. Take that extension. Exhale, go backward. Draw navel all the way past your spine, back behind you, chin to chest. And then come back to neutral. And let's cross our legs one more time. So this time we'll bring the opposite foot in front. For me, it's my left now. Back into Sukhasana. Take a big inhale. Get long. And then exhale, lower your hands to your heart, reconnecting with breath like we began. And then we can float our right hand down to the earth, bring your left arm all the way up towards the sky in line with your left ear. And then exhale, fold over to the right. And then inhale, rise back up. And exhale, arc over to the right, keeping that left sit bone grounded. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold over to the right. Then let this upper hand lift us up. Both arms are parallel. Exhale, fold to the left. Left hand floats down and arc over. Keep the arm in line with your ear. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, maybe you spin your heart skyward. And then rise up one more time. Fold over. Now this time, we're going to alternate. So let the right arm drop in front of your body. Maybe bend the elbows so you can draw the hand back over to the right side as you rise up, arcing to the right. Drape that left arm in front of your body. Bring it onto the earth next to your hip. Right arm rises and we fold left. And then we draw that arm in and keep going side to side like this, flowing with your breath. Keeping a nice tone to the core. And then opening up the side body as you arc side to side. One more time each direction. And then pause and hold here. Nice. Noticing how you're feeling. Now let's go into a tabletop posture. So if it feels okay, I even draw my feet back a little bit so that I could roll forward onto my knees and then uncross my legs and come into a tabletop. Or actually keep your knees apart, bring your feet together. Find an extended child's pose. Let's go into an extended child's pose now for a moment. And just notice how this feels. Always knowing to keep your head elevated or at heart height if that feels more comfortable for you. Or you could go all the way down or even find a prop for your forehead, even if it's your hand. And now let's rise up and we'll do a little bit more flexion or mobilization of the spine. Flexion and extension. So rise up, keeping your feet together, your toes together. You can even lift your feet to the sky as you drop your hips, lift your heart, and lift your gaze. A little extension here. And then exhale, round the spine, draw the navel in, and sit back into your extended child's. And go back and forth like that a few times. Rising up, dropping hips, lifting heart. So maybe one or two more. And then next time, hold into that extended child and notice how that feels now. Maybe you're able to send your hips a little closer towards your heels. Drawing the belly in, maybe melting your head a little bit lower towards your mat. And then when you're ready, we'll rise back up. Let's come into a tabletop posture. So bring your knees under the hips, legs are neutral. You can even curl your toes under. And let's do Ganesha Mudra. So another circling and mobilization of the spine. So you could bring your hips to the right, then back towards your heels, and then over to the left, and then forward. You can even move your hands a little farther forward if that's more comfortable for you. And circle around like that, circling your hips, and feeling how the rest of your body starts to move, the rest of your spine. We're taking some lateral movements, you're maybe getting a little rotation, and you're moving with the breath in the flow of life. You know, the universe pulsates, everything vibrates. So feel that vibration in you, that fall, that pulsation or spanda of life. And then this next time you go back toward your heels, you can go in the other direction. Flowing with breath, spontaneous movement. Doesn't need to look like anything in particular. One more breath here. And then come back to neutral. So find your tabletop. Hips or stay over the knees. And let's walk our hands forward and go into a puppy pose. So walk the hands forward, if you can. Again, you could stay on forearms. Melt your heart towards the earth and squeeze your shoulder blades towards the spine. Keep lifting hips. Take one more breath here. And then you can start to rise up. Bring your hands in slightly, but don't bring them directly under the shoulders. We're going to rise up into our dog pose. So curl your toes under, keep your knees bent as necessary, send hips to sky. Head between your arms. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing. Breathe here, keep a little tone to the belly. Head between your ears, you can shake your head yes or no. You could add any movement here that feels comfortable for you. Again, these poses are alive like we are. There's energy. So find little movements in each posture so you can settle in more deeply. Kind of come with curiosity to how you're feeling in your body today. How is it different from Tuesday? Take one more breath here. And then let's look up toward our hands and walk our feet toward our hands. Walk our feet toward our hands. You can keep your feet about hip width apart. Find your blocks if you want your blocks here. We'll do our half lift a few times, our Ardha Uttanasana. So let your hands climb up onto the blocks or your legs until your torso is in line with your hips. Tone your belly, get long. And then exhale and fold. Good. And then inhale, rise up again. Lengthen from hips to crown of head. And then exhale, go into your fold, even if you need to soften your knees. One more time. Inhale, rising up. And then exhale, go down. Hands are on the earth or your blocks, and open up your feet. So heel toe your feet out. So they're a little wider than hip width, but not as wide as a triangle pose or a prasarita. Good, so stay here for a moment. And then walk your hands over to your right foot. Let your left arm sort of drape in front of your body and rise up to the sky. So we're going to climb out of this posture, letting the right hand glide up our leg. And then we're going to exhale and float back down, getting this long stretch on the left side body, all the way down toward our right foot. And then we're going to rise up again. Inhale. And then exhale and float down. Good. And one more time. Inhale, rising up all the way. And then exhale, go back down. And we're going to walk our hands through the midline. Do the same thing on the left side. So walk your hands over. And then this right arm reaches kind of in line with your right ear. Up and overhead, we rise up. We're getting this big stretch on the right side body. We've got our core to stabilize us. So this is how we're doing our core today in our practice. So feel that core engagement, flowing with your breath, breathing fully and deeply. Good. One more time, rising up. And this time we're going to stay up here. Stay all the way up. Good. Send both arms up to the sky. Adjust your feet so your heels come in and toes go out. And exhale and squat down into your Devyasana posture. Making sure the knees are tracking over the toes. Elbows are in line with your shoulders. Good. Now stay here. Let's even do this a couple times. So rise up, elongate, and then exhale and squat down. Good. Squeezing shoulder blades towards your spine. Last time, rising up. Exhale, squatting down, staying here, and then let your hands float onto your thighs. Make sure you're comfortable shifting your weight towards your heels, knees tracking in line with the toes. Little extension and flexion of the spine again. So lift your heart here, squeeze shoulder blades towards the spine, maybe lift your gaze, and then exhale, press into your thighs as you round your spine and draw your chin towards your chest. Inhale, extend again, and exhale and flex. Flowing with your breath, 2 more. Inhale, and then exhale. One more time. Inhale, and then exhale, rounding. Good, good, good. And then come back to neutral, pressing your right hand into your right thigh, or just maybe above the knee, not on the knee. And then let your right shoulder drop in towards the midline as you sort of take your torso a little bit to the left. And then come back up to center and go onto the right side. So the left shoulder drops to the midline as your torso kind of folds over to the right. And keep going like that, alternating side to side. Nice big stretch on that side body from the crown of your head to your hip. Getting a nice opening in our hips. We let your hips drop a little deeper. Good. Nice. One more time here. Good. Each side to the right. Whatever side you started on, make sure you're even. And to the left. Good. Come back to center. Lift your torso. Stay in your squat. Send your arms all the way up to the sky. Good. And then with your strong legs, rise all the way up. Good. And then exhale, squat back down. Arms into our Devyasana arms again. Good. Send your arms up to the sky. Then rise up with strong legs. Good. Nice. One more time. Squatting down. Let your hands float down. Hinge forward again, and then walk your hands onto the earth as you bring your legs towards straighter. Pivot your feet to parallel and maybe heel toe your legs a little wider. We're going to add a twist here. So use your blocks if you want. You can get your blocks. Left hand grounds, right arm goes up to sky. You can even keep that elbow bent if you want to lift from the elbow as you rotate your torso to the right. And then lower that arm down. You can even let that hand float a little bit behind the left as you then lift that arm once again as you rotate to the right. And then exhale and lower. And then inhale and rotate. And exhale and lower. This time lower it all the way down. Let's do that to the left a few times. Inhaling and rotating, floating that arm up. And then exhale, torso down to earth, and maybe even letting that left arm float behind the right. Inhale, rise up. Rotating to the left. Exhale and lower. And again, inhale. And now let's alternate side to side a few times. So the left arm lowers down, and then the right arm lifts as you twist to the right. Right arm lowers. Left arm lifts as you twist to the left. Couple more times each side. Honoring your shoulders and making any adjustments for the torso. The arm doesn't have to fully extend. Again, you can keep that elbow bent. You can keep your hand on your hip. Last time. Good job. And then lower both hands down to the earth. You could take a half lift here and then melt all the way into your prasarita for a breath or two. Good. Make sure in this pose you're shifting your weight towards the balls of your feet, keeping ankles, knees, and hips aligned, belly toned, and lengthening from hips to crown of head down towards the earth. Now let's rise up halfway, hands onto fingertips, tented fingers, or blocks, and then heel toe your feet together until they come to about hip width apart. Good, nice. And then bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Lift your chest, lift your arms, Uttanasana. Good, find your Uttanasana. Shifting your weight back towards your heels, make sure you can see your toes. Keep your knees bent. Exhale, hinge forward till your belly's on your thighs. Send your arms back behind you, like skier arms. Stay in your squat, rise up, arms forward. We're at that 45-degree angle. Exhale, hinge forward, arms back behind you. Inhale, rise up. One more time. Exhale, hinge forward, arms back behind you. Keep your belly on your thighs. Maybe let your hands come together into Yoga Mudra as you bring your legs towards straighter and let the little fist lift off your back. And breathe here. One more breath. Good. And then bend your knees, release your arms, lift your chest, stay in your squat, send your arms all the way overhead, strong legs rise you up, hold on to opposite elbows. Good. Inhale, exhale, fold to the right, back through center. Exhale, fold to the left, a couple more times each side. Last flowing. Good, nice. And then next time you come back to center, release your arms wide to the side, drawing shoulder blades towards the spine. And pause here, samastitihi. Maybe even bending your elbows and bringing your hands to prayer, reconnecting with your breath again. Noticing how your breath is feeling now. Nice, all right. So let's release our arms by our sides and we'll go into some standing postures. So you might want to have your blocks. We'll come to the short side of our mat and start our standing sequence. So from Tadasana, let's take, we'll do things a little differently today. We want to take a back bend and before we forward fold. So send our arms all the way up to the sky, get long, Urdhva Hastasana, and then bring your arms wide to the side. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. As your arms come behind the back, you could let your hands come onto your low back with your fingers up or down or, fists. Draw elbows and triceps together. Press your hips forward, lift your heart. Squeezing shoulder blades towards the spine, maybe lift your gaze. Take a standing back bend here. Nice. And then inhale, come back to center, release your hands, let them glide down the backs of your legs for support as you go into your forward fold here. Good. Let the hands rise up halfway onto legs or blocks, take a half lift. Exhale, go back into your fold. Place the weight into your right foot. You can lift your left leg if you like into a little standing split for a moment, but then we're gonna bend our right knee and lower that foot right down. So low lunge. Make sure, wiggle your right foot forward if you need to make sure it's under your ankle. Hands are framing that right foot, whether they're on the blocks or the earth, up to you. Good. And now lift your hips a little bit. So we're going to add a little pulsation here. And then exhale, drop your hips and sink down a little. Ooh, yeah. And then inhale and lift. Maybe find space between belly and thigh. And exhale and sink down, dropping the hips. Nice. One more time, rising up. And then exhale. Let's actually do 2 more times. Let's do this for 5 times because it feels really good, right? Lifting up and exhale and sinking. Last time, lift up and sink and drop here. Nice job. Now, let's lower the left knee down. Good. Lifting your heart here in this knee down lunge. And then send your arms up to the sky. Knee down, warrior 1. Maybe even lifting your heart, take a little extension here. And then exhale, lower your hands down onto the earth or your blocks. As you extend your right leg, dig that heel and lift your toes for Ardha Hanumanasana. And then keep going like that. Inhale, coming forward, dropping the hips forward, maybe even sending the knee past the ankle as arms come up, and you take maybe an extension in the torso, and then exhale, lower and straighten and fold. So 3 more times like this. Coming forward. And then exhale. 2 more. Rising up. And then exhale. Good. Last time. Exhale and hold and fold here. So your hips are square. Knee as soft as you need to, your torso is long, and you're melting your heart towards your knee or drawing your head towards your toes. Breathe. Take 1 more breath or 2. And then rise back up, bending your knee. Send your arms skyward, and then take a gentle twist. Lower the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the back. Let it even, see if you can come onto the left hamstring. Oh, beautiful, gentle twist here. Your hand could stay on your hip. Keep your torso long and feel this rotation from your belly. Nice, strong core. Good job. 1 more breath. Unwind. Both arms can float skyward again. As you derotate, lower your hands to frame your right foot. Right knee goes back to meet the left. Walk your hands forward. Find another puppy pose. Finding your puppy, melting your heart, squeezing shoulder blades towards the spine, lifting your hips to the sky. Keep your hips, your knees down, and then lift your hips, and then slowly come forward and lower them onto the earth. Nice job. Good. Keep your elbows underneath your shoulders. We'll take a Cobra. Or you could take Sphinx pose. So you can stay here with your elbows under your shoulders and slightly drop down, or you can come all the way down with your hands back under your shoulders and then rise up. So whichever vinyasa feels comfortable for you right now. Actually, I just lowered my hands back, squeezing elbows and triceps together. Chin down to, and lips down to mat. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, peel up. Loop the shoulders down the back. Squeeze them towards your spine. Grounding through the feet, the hands, the belly. Broad across your collarbones. Take 1 more breath here. Lower back down. Press up through hands and knees. Sit your hips back towards your heels like you're going into an extended child's pose. And then lift them up to the sky. Downward facing dog. A couple breath cycles here. Grounding hands, lifting hips, and engaging the legs. Take 1 or 2 more breath cycles here. And then let's look up toward our hands. Walk our feet toward our hands into a forward fold. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold again. Bend your knees, belly on your thighs. You can send your arms forward if you like, back into that Uttanasana, and then use your strong legs to rise you up. Arms by your side, Samastitihi. Here we go, other side. I'm gonna just turn. And when you're ready, big inhale. Arms wide to the side, behind the back, standing back bend, drawing elbows and triceps together, pressing hips forward, lifting and broadening across your heart. Exhale, come back to neutral. Let your hands glide down your legs. Forward fold. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold again. Weight into your left foot, right leg sweeps the sky, standing split for a moment or two. You don't have to, you can go right into your low lunge as you bend the left leg, lower that foot down. Hands frame the left foot, knee over the ankle, hips square. Activate your outer hips. Lift up a little bit, and then exhale and drop your hips. Little pulses like that, lifting and then dropping. Back leg is engaged. You're extending and radiating out of that extended heel. Couple more times. And drop. And one more time. And drop and hold here. Lower the right knee. Send your arms to the sky. Maybe take a little extension here as you drop your hips more and send that knee forward. Exhale, lower your hands to frame the left foot as you extend the left leg, toes to sky. Keep going like that 4 more times. Inhale, floating up. Exhale and extend. Inhale, floating up. Exhale and extend. And 2 more. Good. Last time. And this next time that you find your Ardha Hanumanasana, stay here. Your little split. And breathe. We're drawing the toes more towards the knee. Melting your heart to the knee and lengthening the crown of your head towards your toes. 1 more breath. And then bend the knee as you rise up, extending the arms to the sky, taking a gentle twist here. Lower right hand to left knee, left hand to your hip or the right hamstring. One more breath or 2 here. And let's slowly unwind, arms back up to the sky. Lower hands to frame your foot. Left knee goes back to meet the right. Walk your hands and heart forward, melting into Anahata Asana. One more breath here. And then slowly come forward. So you're coming forward on your elbows, lowering your hips. Bend your elbows, bring your hands underneath your head or your chin. Bend your knees and windshield wipe your feet. Windshield wiping side to side here. Good. Nice. And now keep your feet up to the sky. You can even bring your toes together if you like. Chin or your lips can rest on the earth. Arms can reach back. Palms can just stay on the earth, so palms down. And then we're going to press our hip points, our pubic bone down to the earth as we lift our chest, reach our hands back toward our feet, and lift the thighs. So a little modified Dhanurasana. You can stay here, just holding the breath, squeezing the shoulder blades toward the spine, lifting the thighs. Strong, strong legs. Lower down for a moment. We'll do that a couple more times. If you want, you could take hold of the feet, but don't worry about doing that. Up to you. When you're ready, peeling up, pressing the hip points down, lifting the thighs, kicking your shins back, lifting your heart, broad across collarbones. And one more time, lower down, pause. Pause, release everything. You can rise up again. If you'd like to even switch the grip of the feet, you could even flex your ankles, flex your feet, or just keep reaching back in the modified Dhanurasana, rising up, pressing hips down, lifting thighs, lifting heart. One more breath. And then slowly lower down. You can turn your head to the other cheek. You can windshield wipe your legs again, your calves side to side. And then you can extend the legs, bring that movement to stillness. Press up through hands and knees. Sit your hips back towards your heels, sort of a modified child's pose. And then you can develop your posture into your downward facing dog, rising up. Take two more breath cycles here. Look up towards your hands. Walk your feet towards your hands. Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back into your fold. Bend your knees, belly on your thighs. Utkatasana. You could send your arms back behind you. You could send them forward. And then with your strong legs, rise all the way up to standing. Arms by our sides. Samastitihi. All right. One more wave. We'll add our balance poses in. So again, have your blocks handy if you like, coming to the short side of your mat. Take a big inhale, arms wide to the side, get long. Exhale, hands behind your back, standing back bent, drawing elbows and triceps together, pressing hips forward, lifting gaze if you like. Exhale, hinge forward, let your hands glide down the backs of your legs to go into your forward fold with a little support. Rise up halfway. Again, get long through the side body. Take all that length back into your fold and send your left leg to the sky. Sweep that leg to the sky. And pause for a breath or two here in our standing split. And then bend your right knee, lower that foot down, and find your low lunge again. Good. Square your hips, activate the outer hips, strong legs. Maybe even widen your feet for more balance, for more stability. And then let's rise up. You can use your right hand on your thigh or core strength. Virabhadrasana 1. Now let's add some pulsation here. So come out of this posture a little bit, maybe bringing the front leg to straighter, lifting the back leg, and then exhale and sink. And then inhale and lift. And exhale and sink. Good. One more time. Inhale and lift. Exhale and sink and hold here. Hinge forward, send your arms back behind you into a diagonal warrior, strong back leg. Inhale, rise back up, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower left hand to right hamstring, gentle twist to left hand to right knee, and then the right hand to the left hamstring, gentle twist. Unwind, arms back up to sky. Right hand to right knee, left arm back behind you. Right arm floats up to the sky as you reverse your warrior. Inhale, rising back up, left arm meets the right. De-rotate your torso. Exhale, hinge forward, diagonal warrior. One more time, staying here or perhaps floating up into your warrior 3. Activating outer hips, strong standing leg, toned belly, lengthen from crown of head to heel. Bend the right knee, lower that left foot down, arms to sky, Virabhadrasana 1. Good. Last twist. This time we're going to bring our hands to prayer, rotate to the right, staying here, staying tall, or hinging forward and bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, maybe even making a fist with the upper hand so you can get a little bit more leverage, a little more space between the belly and thigh. Draw the right hip back, lengthen from crown of head to hips, to heel, and breathe. One more breath here. Unwind as you float both hands down to the earth, onto your blocks or the mat. Right foot goes back to meet the left. Find your plank pose. Lengthen from crown of head to heels, toned belly, strong legs. Press all the way up to your downward dog. Breathing here, a couple of breath cycles. Lifting hips, head between your arms. Strong legs. Look up towards your hands. Walk your feet towards your hands. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Bend your knees. Utkatasana. Strong legs rise you up. Arms to your side. Samastitihi. One more wave. One more side. This isn't even a wave. This is a side. Here we go. Inhale. Get long. Exhale, hands behind the back, standing back bend. Exhale, hands glide down your legs, Uttanasana with support. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, get long. Exhale and fold, hands on the earth or blocks, right leg sweeps the sky, standing split. Bend your left knee, lower the right leg. Arms to sky, Virabhadrasana 1. Rise up a little bit out of it. Exhale, sink, dropping your hips. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale and sink. And again, inhale, lifting up. Exhale and sink and hold. Pausing here, hinging forward with your torso as you bend your elbows and send them back behind you, diagonal warrior. Lengthening from crown of head to heel. Strong back leg. Rise back up, arms up to the sky, gentle twist, left hand or right hand onto left knee, left hand behind the back onto the right hip or hamstring, left hip or right hamstring. Breathe. So it could always be here, is what I meant to say. But if you can reach back, it might feel nice. Breathing here. Unwind, arms float to sky, Virabhadrasana 1. Good. Left arm could stay lifted, right hand down to right hamstring. Reverse your warrior. Strong back leg. Windmill that right arm back up to sky. Hinge forward, diagonal warrior. One more time, staying here or floating to warrior 3. Lower standing leg, arms to sky. Last Virabhadrasana 1. Now our prayer twist, hands to prayer, press palms together, rotate to the left. Staying high or hinging forward and bringing the right elbow to the outside of the knee. Left hand you can stay into prayer, keep pressing palms together so the thumbs come near sternum, or the upper hand can make a fist. Strong back leg. One more breath here. Slowly unwind, hands come onto the earth, framing our left foot. Left foot goes back to meet the right, plank pose. Couple of breath cycles here. Engaging your arms, your core, your legs, your back body. Press back to your dog pose. Few breath cycles here. Adding any movement that you want. Down dog becomes a little bit of a resting posture now. And breathe. Take one more breath. And then kind of roll onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, lower your knees down, and sit back into child's pose. Hooray. Sit back into your child's. Again, keep your head at heart height if that feels better for you. Or you can let your head rest all the way down. Keep your arms extended if you can. And then walk your arms over to the right. Take a nice side stretch on the left side. Walk your hands back to center. Bring them over to the left. Giving a deep stretch on that right side. Walk your hands back to center. Stay here in your child's pose. Walk your hands in towards your knees. Start to rise up. Walk your hands back behind you as best you can. You can even use your blocks. We're going to take a little baby camel. So it's not a big camel. So your hands are down on the earth and you're just lifting your hips to the sky. See how far you can go. Lifting your heart, lifting your gaze. And then you can lower them back down. You can do that a couple of times. So lower the hands down and lift. And lower your hips. Good. One more time, and lifting up, lifting your heart. And then slowly lower. Walk your hands forward, all the way forward, lifting your hips a little bit, and rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone down, rounding the spine, and come into a flexion, sort of a high child's pose, almost like a cat back. And then you can lower into your child's pose. You can even lift again, rounding the spine a little bit, drawing navel to spine. And then exhale, lower down. Good, one more time, rounding and lifting. And then lowering into your child's pose and sinking here. Walk your hands in. If it's still okay to keep your legs like this in your Virasana, then fine. We'll add a twist here, or you could extend your legs forward if you want. Arms up to the sky. Get long, relaxing shoulders down the back. Exhale, lower left hand to right knee, right hand onto the earth or onto our low back or hip for a gentle twist. Inhale, sweep your arms back up to the sky. De-rotate, exhale, gentle twist to the left. One more time each side. Inhale and exhale. Hold a breath or two in the twist. And then inhale, de-rotate, and twist to the left. And then de-rotate, float your hands onto your knees, and let's shift our hips to one side. Plant your feet on the earth, come into a constructive rest. Good, hold on to the calves or the hamstrings, and let that support guide you back down to the earth. And breathe here. Nice job. Take a little bridge. If you'd like, you can bring a block between your inner thighs. A little squeeze to that block. Plant your feet on the earth. Maybe you could feel your heels. Or find a good distance between heels and buttocks that feels comfortable for you and your knees. Good. Arms by your sides. Press down with your feet as you squeeze the block and lift your hips, peeling up. And exhale, lower down. A few times like that. If you'd like, you could add your arms, sweeping your arms up towards the sky and then overhead. And then exhale and lower down. And again, peeling up. The next time you rise up, pause there for 5 breath cycles or so. And breathing. Grounding into the feet, squeezing the block, lengthening the torso, connecting the back of the head to the earth. And then slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time, pausing there for a moment. Now we'll take a twist, and if you want, you could keep your block between your legs, if that's of interest. Bring your arms out like a T. Knees into chest, give them a squeeze. Squeeze the block if you like. And then let your legs roll over to the right. Bring them back to center and let them roll over to the left. Go back and forth like that a few times, keeping your core engaged so that you can support the legs as they roll to each direction. And the next time you go to the right, maybe stay there and hold. Maybe the legs could rest on the earth. Maybe you remove the block and bring it underneath the knees. Maybe see if you can keep your left shoulder down, broad across your collarbones and looking over your left shoulder. back to center. You go right to the other side. Notice how this feels too. We didn't do that little hip adjustment in this one because we were flowing. But if that feels better to do that, always make that adjustment for yourself, even if we're in a vinyasa. Shift the hips to the right as you bring, 2 inches or so as you bring your legs to the left. That's why it'll keep your torso more in line, your hips in line with your rib cage. And that might feel better in your body. So notice that little adjustment. Drawing right shoulder down, looking over right shoulder to get rotation in your neck as well. Take one more breath here. Unwind back to center. Bring your hips back to center if you made that adjustment. Bring your knees in towards your chest, give them a squeeze. Peel head to knees, knees to head. And then lower your head and shoulders down. And if you like, you can make little circles with your knees. Massaging the back body, flowing with breath again. And the other direction. Good. You bring that movement to stillness, pull the knees in towards your chest again. Nose to knees, your chin to knees, give a little squeeze. And then lower your shoulders down. Keep that right leg in and extend your left leg long. Maybe draw that right knee all the way up towards your shoulder as you draw the left hamstring down towards the earth. And then release the right leg, pause for a moment and notice, letting both legs drop out to the side. Left side. All 10 toes come up to the sky as you bring your left leg in and ground the right leg down. Really squeezing. The left knee towards the shoulder as the right hamstring comes closer to the earth. Then slowly release the left leg. Let both legs drop out to the side, your feet drop out to the side. You can bring a hand to each hip point and ground each half of your pelvis. Use your elbows and your maybe tented fingers to lift your torso up and squeeze shoulder blades towards the spine. Externally rotate your shoulders so your palms sweep up to the sky. And pause here. Maybe rocking your head side to side. Releasing any tension in your jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Bring any movement to stillness. Taking a big inhale and exhale it out with a sigh. Softening your eyes, softening your belly, softening your breath. Floating here for these next few moments to integrate our practice, restore our vital energy, and absorb the Shanti, the peace of yoga. Stay open to life. I have a tendency to be dogmatic. If I have an experience that's unpleasant, I take a firm stand and say, I'll never go through that again. I'll never do that again. If something frightens me or I don't understand it, I push it away, won't even consider it. That won't work for me, I say, sometimes before I know whether it will or not. Being dogmatic shuts us down and can shut life out. The universe will challenge our prejudices, though. Without being certain how it happened, we may find ourselves doing the very thing we thought we never would, liking it and hearing a quiet voice, the one that comes from our heart, ask, "What do you think now?" When we're open, we find ourselves doing things, sharing things, experiencing things, and liking things we never thought we would or could. Open your heart, open your mind, open to life and all it holds for you. Let the dogma dissolve. So allow your breath to deepen. Gently rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes. Sweep your arms overhead, taking a big stretch, reaching up through fingers and down through toes, tucking chin into chest. Exhale and release. Take another stretch like that, or draw your knees in towards your chest and give them a squeeze. Exhale and release. Roll onto your right side with bent or straight legs, and rest there for a moment. And when you're ready, you can use your bottom elbow and top arm to help you sit up slowly. Coming up, bring your head up last, just kind of pouring up like water. Returning to the comfortable seat that we began. Grounding through sits bones, lengthening through crown of head. Draw hands together at your heart in gratitude. And then we'll seal our practice by joining our voices in the sound of Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.